This week on the original Rochester Press Box.
I'm Steve Haussman from WBEE. My wife Julie did something amazing last weekend, and now I want to do it too. I'll tell you what it is.
And I'm John DiTullio. Hey, the Yankees, well, it's all about a money grab. I'll tell you why.
I'm Mike Catalana. I'm sure we're going to take a lot of shots at EJ during this, but I'm going to stick up for him a little.
And I'm Bill Pucko with a thanks for the people at the Garage Door Restaurant. Join us this week on the original Rochester Press Box. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the original Rochester Press Box. I'm Bill Pucko, joined as always by John DiTullio, WHTK.
Billy, great to be here.
Third Team WHAM News, Mike Catalana. Welcome back, man. You're out a couple of weeks. We missed you.
I know.
Kurt Smith beat me, just mercilessly over the Redskins issue. I really missed your presence here.
Wow, I would have liked to have been able to here to help defend you, but we'll give Curtis a few minutes.
All righty, and Steve Haussman, back again, the honorary president of the Western New York division of the Steve Grogan Fan Club.
Yes,
and he also
absolutely.
participates on the WBEE Morning Coffee Club.
Yeah,
Thanks
good
for
to see
coming back.
you guys. Yeah, well, I like your nice location here.
Yeah, it's all right.
Where's the cup holders? That's what I want to know.
They're coming in due time, my
Okay.
friend. Look, it's the opening of the NFL season, Steve, and everyone has been obviously talking about the Buffalo Bills are going to Chicago for their first game. It's been a dreadful preseason. What do you make of it?
Well, I'm eager to see what happens now to the count, see if the Bills were holding back on what they were letting EJ do during the preseason, see if they have any wrinkles that we don't know about. I don't have a lot of hopes. Mike, you saw every single game.
Yeah.
You were there. I watched him on TV and listened to him on the radio, and it was a little discouraging, to say the least.
Discouraging?
Well, here's what I would say. They did hold back, but so did the other teams. And when you talk about just simple throwing, catching, blocking, tackling, I thought they lacked. Because you can talk all about game planning you want, and there are times you can say, the Tampa game, I will say they went in really, really vanilla because Tampa plays basically the same defense as Chicago. That being said, you'd like to see some more execution. I'll give them some benefit of the doubt of some holding back. EJ was not sharp. The offensive line struggled, and those are big concerns going into the season.
John, was it a smokescreen, do you think, when they said that they were taking the preseason as seriously as they intended?
Bills can smokescreen.
I mean, Marone said we want these games. EJ said these are important.
I think that was
snaps for me.
legit. I think he was legit. I think he wanted to set the winning tone, this winning culture. Yeah, the Bills didn't show anything, but the last time I checked, defenses don't show anything either.
Yeah.
So it was vanilla versus vanilla, and the Bills' vanilla was awful. EJ was terrible. The Bills are a complete and utter mess, and 15 years in a row they're going to miss the playoffs. I don't think if you're a Bills fan you have any reason for hope unless Kyle Orton takes over at some point or the light goes on with EJ Manuel and he becomes the next Warren Moon, which I highly doubt.
Yeah, I will say one thing about that. They did make a lot of changes during the preseason, and the Kyle Orton move that John's talking about does smack of desperation, and I love it. They need to be a little more desperate. Go spend the money. Go get the guy. If EJ fails, you got a guy to go behind you. The joke of having Toole and Lewis behind EJ, I kept trying to see it with my eyes. What do they see in these guys? And somehow they actually got worse in year two. And at least they addressed it. It's not normally the Bills' way. The Bills' way normally would have been keep the guy or get somebody else off the scrap heap. They ended up paying for it, and they got the best available
Well, they
guy.
know their jobs are all on the line. Stevie, they could have had him a month ago.
Yeah.
That kind of troubles me that they waited to the last minute.
$10 million they're paying this guy, as I hear.
Yeah. Are we really going to complain that the Bills paid too much money to get somebody to come in? And I don't think Kyle Orton wanted to be anywhere a month ago. Mm-hmm. This is what he wanted to do. This is what you get when you are unprepared in the offseason. And they were unprepared for this quarterback thing, which stuns me. We talked about it here. Yeah. They should have addressed it, but they didn't. But the only thing worse than not doing it when they did not do it, which was in the offseason, is not doing it at some point. And they finally stepped up. And I think they have a legitimate backup and certainly a potential starter if they want to make it.
Just quickly, as we wrap up the segment,
Yeah.
we have football coming up next anyway.
Right.
Give me a one-loss record for the Bills this year.
no more than 6 wins again.
Okay, 6-10, Mike.
Yeah.
I pick 7 and 9 every year. I'm sticking with it.
John?
If Orton plays 7-9, 8-8.
If Orton
If Orton gets in and plays.
And a week ago, we didn't even
Yeah,
know
if
what this
Orton
guy
plays
was.
a handful of games, which you're not paying $5 million to hold the clipboard, he will play at some point either because of injury or because of EJ's ineffectiveness.
Well, if Orton doesn't play, it will end up being a great year for the Bills. Because that means EJ not only stayed healthy, but played well enough to stay on the field. I don't expect that to happen.
How many other teams got booed by their home fans during the preseason?
Twice.
Yeah, twice.
Yeah,
that
2
says it
times.
all.
All right, we'll take a look at that Bills opener at Chicago, and some predictions are coming up next. Welcome back to the original Rochester Press Box. Bill, John, Mike, and Steve. Prediction time, all right? We'll deal with the Bills, and I want everyone to take one other game in the opening week of the NFL season. We'll kind of keep score with the 4 seats here, and the crew has also got some picks to make.
Okay.
John, I'll go to you first. Bills at Chicago. This is not an easy opener.
Well, listen, Jay Cutler is set up to have a great year. He's got 2 big wide receivers. He's got a pretty good offensive line. They can run the football. They're going to score 27 to 30 points on anyone. They'll get 30 today. There's no question. Can the Bills? So for the Bills to win, they've got to keep the Bears, I believe, under 20. No way it's going to happen. I'll take the Bears today, 30 to 13.
6.5 is the line, Mike.
Yeah, I don't like the Bills in that way. I think they'll be a little closer. I do like the Bills' starting defense. I think the problem with the Bills' starting defense is going to be they're going to be on the field too much, and that'll wear them down. I think it'll be relatively close. The Bears' defense is awful. They were atrocious last year. I don't see them being all that much better. So EJ and company should be able to move the ball today. I really do think you will see them actually move the ball because as awful as they were in the preseason, and Steve mentioned I was there for all of them, the Carolina game, the Giants, well, they were a little bit in the Giants game, and even the Pittsburgh game, they moved the ball up and down the field. I mean, they looked so much worse at home the last 2 games. They have shown some of that. I think they'll run the ball a little bit more. Chicago's run defense is terrible. But I have Chicago in control, winning it by 10.
How painful were those games to watch?
The game against Tampa was just awful. They got manhandled in that game, and that's the big concern. And the Detroit game was just a joke. I mean, that was horrible to watch. And and we're obligated to show them. And look, I enjoy doing the TV part of it. I kind of block the rest of it out, and I know it's not a great product. But I joke that we should have lost our FCC license for showing that game the next day because
Not something you want to be saying, really.
It was a bad game. It was tough to promote that game.
If the Bills need 30 to win this game,
Yeah.
that doesn't sound to me like a formula for success.
Well, we'll need 10 field goals then. One thing we found during the preseason, the Bills can kick field goals. I think the only way they score a touchdown is defensively. I see it 30 to 16 with maybe a defensive
I'm not
touchdown.
that negative about them. I mean, they have some weapons on offense. I mean, I really do think they will.
But they got to throw the ball downfield,
Yeah.
Mike.
They
to
do.
be successful.
They do.
Cutler will hit at least 1 to 2 home run balls today.
He also will do 2 stupid things during the game because it's Jay Cutler.
Sure.
So again,
he'll give Frapp one for you.
It's week 1 in the NFL. We could be a little bit surprised today. I don't expect it, but we could be surprised.
There's no way the Bills are going to win.
All right, I'm all with it. You hate it when it's unanimous, but I think we're all taking the Bears to cover the 6.5.
Yeah.
A secondary game, another game you like, Steve.
I like Atlanta at home getting 3 against New Orleans. I think Matt Ryan and with Julio Jones back in the lineup, I think that's going to be a lethal combination. I like Atlanta today.
Somebody's going to score a lot of points in that game. Mike,
Yeah.
you got a secondary game?
I like Tampa Bay at home against Carolina. I like that Buccaneers team. I like what Lovie Smith is doing there. He's changing the mindset a little bit. They have an adult at quarterback now. I think they're going to be a bit of a surprise team this year. I think they were more talented than they showed last year, and they had all their internal problems. I like them to win, and Carolina really lost a lot.
You know, we don't go over these before. We
Yeah.
don't talk about these things before we actually do them. That's my pick. I like
Okay.
Tampa there
Well, we're
also.
together
John?
on it.
I've got 2 games that we're taping on Wednesday. I like the Packers, but I like Pittsburgh.
Well, which one are you committing to?
Yeah.
You can take the Green Bay game because this is before it's played.
Yes, I will take the Packers and Aaron Rodgers up in Seattle. The way the league is set up now with the rules, I think Rodgers could bet. Rodgers is already the best quarterback in football. I think now it kind of negates what Seattle's strength was a year ago. And I think you'll see Rodgers pick apart Seattle, ball control, and they'll score points. It'll be close. I think they'll lose, but they'll cover. They're 5.5-point underdogs. I think they lose, but I think they lose close.
All right, so it's Green Bay, Tampa Bay,
Atlanta at home getting
the
points.
Crew is going to Kansas City, giving 4 against Tennessee. Like it or not, when we return. Welcome back to the original Rochester Press Box. Bill Pucko, John DiTullio, Mike Catalana, Steve Haussman. Like it or not, Wes Welker, I'll give you this one, Steve. Wes Welker and the claims that his drinks were spiked.
Maybe he did have a concussion. I think it's kind of sad that the whole thing had to happen. I even go back to when the Patriots let him go. I mean, this guy has just changed so much for him since he left the Patriots. This whole amphetamines thing, I feel bad for him. I think it might be time for him to just let it go.
You know, to me, every time somebody gets caught doing something,
Yeah.
when's the last time someone just said, "Yep, you got me"? It's almost like lying is a side effect of performance-enhancing drugs.
I will say some of them come up with some very clever things on how they were duped, right?
Well, Welker's got to do better than having a drink spike.
Yeah.
Well, it could be it could have been a Miley, which is used for when the lights go down. He had a little social thing going. I mean, amphetamines, really?
What are you talking
No, in the
about?
month of May, this is what it came down to.
Okay.
Absolutely, was something. Long story short, Wes Welker taking amphetamines. Who cares? Black beauties we're going to get all up in arms about. Really?
You
For
know
4
a lot
games?
more about this
in
stuff
May.
than I
Yeah.
thought.
No.
Look,
In May, he tested for amphetamines. In May.
now
How does that benefit him in
I said,
September,
what the
Mike?
truth is Wes Welker never took PEDs when he was with the Patriots. When he was watching that illegally obtained video, he was totally by the rules.
Steve.
Sorry, I take a shot at the Patriots.
Michael, like it or not, any of the 4 quarterbacks the Bills let go this preseason ever playing in the NFL again?
I think Thad Lewis has been around enough. He'll be a backup somewhere. Somebody will pick him up. Jeff Toole's on the practice squad. Poor Jordan Palmer. No, he'll be a coach somewhere. He's not. Who else are we
Dixon
talking?
is the guy that we all forget about.
Dennis Dixon, who I will tell us, the coaching staff loved Dennis Dixon as a guy. They knew he wasn't going to make the team. I can say this, I think, now. And I give Doug Marrone credit. He said that kid worked hard, did everything we would. That's why they put him in the game. And they had a really rough time, and they took him out. They like Dennis Dixon as a guy. He's not going to play quarterback in the NFL. He does have 2 Super Bowl rings, by the way. Yeah. Dennis Dixon with the Steelers and the Ravens. No, I don't like any of them playing in the NFL at any particular time. Jeff Toole could maybe work his way up to being a backup someday. That would be the extent of it.
I agree. I thought Lewis last year turned himself into a credible backup with his
He
performance.
looked
in
okay. I
Buffalo.
thought he played all right against the Dolphins. I thought he looked okay against New Orleans. He actually resembled somewhat of an NFL quarterback, but really, how desperate are you if you're going to sign Thad Lewis?
I think, honestly, Steve, I think what happens is the more someone you are exposed to them, and their talent level is only a certain point, and the more their flaws come out.
And that's
the
a
more
good question because he was the first one out the door, right? All of a sudden, they don't play him in game 2, and then
He
he's
regressed. He definitely regressed. But again, I go back to this. I'm at least hopeful that the Bills didn't just sit back like their normal way and go, well, this is who we have. They made a mistake. They tried to correct it. It cost them money. So be it. They can spend a little bit of money, and we'll see if Orton helps them.
Like it or not, John, the Derek Jeter patch.
No. This is a money grab for the Yanks, right? To me, it comes off as cheesy, something the Mets would do. I mean, I know they did it for Mariano Rivera last year with the cap. I mean, they're kind of going overboard a little bit. We get it. This is Jeter's last year, and they're trying to deflect the fact that he's not playing well. The team's not very good. They're 5 back at the time of this taping. I don't like it at all. To me, it seems to be, I think they're charging $99 for that cap if you want an actual authentic cap with Jeter on it. To me, it's a money grab by the Yankees.
And you
it's
know,
cheesy.
if they ran it by Jeter, he'd say, "Don't do it." So they're
You would
doing it
hope
against
so.
his wish.
You would hope he would say that. That, listen, I'm getting too much attention as it is, and Girardi's trying to answer questions if he's going to pull him down in the lineup. This kind of deflects a little
Yankees
bit.
are going to need a shortstop patch next year. That's all I know.
Well, they are closing it. What has Jeter only played one game in his entire career where they've been mathematically eliminated from the playoffs? And that number is going to go up. His entire career, one game, because the year they missed it, he was injured during that year. So that number is going to go up quickly.
Unfinished business when we return.
And you don't need to be Native American to realize it is offensive. And it's not politically correct. It's the right thing to do.
He was an idiot for throwing him that pitch. The guy's phenomenal. He had no reason to give him anything, especially a fastball to hit.
It's simply that these two guys, Ronaldo and Tom Brady, are too good looking.
I like it, just don't admit to it.
Everybody wants to hate on the best in the world. You know, he's here to stay, and he wants to build something big time.
The bottom line is, still nobody's going to like A-Rod.
Welcome back to the original Rochester Press Box. It is time now for Unfinished Business. John.
Hi, Billy. You know, all 3 quarterbacks selected in this year's first round of the draft are all going to sit. They're all going to sit and wait for their opportunity. Blake Bortles is going to sit behind Chad Henne. Johnny Manziel is going to sit behind Brian Hoyer. And, of course, Teddy Bridgewater is going to sit behind Matt Castle. It took a second-round pick in Derek Carr to earn the starting job over the veteran in Matt Schaub, which now brings us back to the Buffalo Bills. And we talked earlier about Kyle Orton signing. It's about time that E.J. Manuel earned something, earned the starting job. Last year, he was handed the job after Kevin Kolb got hurt with a concussion. Nobody there to challenge him. This year, he went unchallenged during training camp, right? With the addition of Kyle Orton, at least E.J. Manuel, and this is a good thing, will be looking over his shoulder. And I like that. I like what the Bills did. Everybody is better, I believe, when you are pushed, challenged, and looking over your shoulder.
Where's your over-under on Orton starting a game?
Kyle Orton, I've got him, I'll say the bye week. I know a lot of people to the show are calling week 3 against San Diego. I think they'll give him until the bye week, see where they are. But that's
pretty deep in the season.
It's in week 9. Week 9. Wow. I think Manziel will be starting by week 5. I think Bortles will probably be in by week 5. And Teddy Bridgewater probably midway through the season in Minnesota.
House, what do you got?
I want to give props to my wife, Julie, who ran a 5K 1 week ago today. And I mention this because she had never run in her life. My wife said, "I'll never run unless someone's chasing me." But she was convinced to try something with Fleet Feet called No Boundaries, where she and 2 girlfriends and a bunch of other people began walking. Slowly but surely, they built a little bit of running in, 10 seconds at a time, half minute at a time, a minute at a time. And it culminated last Sunday when 200 people ran their first ever 5K, and my wife completed it, running all the way. I'm so proud of her, to the point, and there she is. You can see her at the finish line with a big smile. I'm going to start the same program in October. I'm going to run my first ever 5K right before Christmas.
You're going to get it done in the same day?
It's not a matter of that. It's a matter of doing it. And
certainly is.
hopefully I will get it
No,
done in one day.
congrats to your wife. That's pretty
Julie's
cool.
great. She's the best.
Nice, good. Congratulations. All right, I'm going to go with something on the same theme that John was talking about with E.J. Manuel, but I'm going to stick up for him just a little bit here. All of the people wringing their hands over the fact that E.J. Manuel was not named a captain of the Buffalo Bills. If you look at the guys who were picked by the teammates as captains, they're all veterans. They've all been around the league. The one noticeable thing, while everybody was focused on why E.J. isn't the captain, is that Mario Williams was voted as a captain. I find that to be somewhat encouraging. Maybe he'll step up in a leadership role since he's getting the big paycheck too, and it's nice to see that his teammates recognize that. Not surprised by Spikes, Graham's been around, and the guys like Fred Jackson and Eric Wood that have been around a long time. E.J. doesn't deserve to be the captain yet. First, he has to earn the right to be the starting quarterback, much to what John said. And he has an opportunity to do that on the field now. If he does that and he plays well, there's a natural leadership that goes with a quarterback. Not every guy is the rah-rah guy. I think he could be that way, but I'm going to give him credit for one thing. He doesn't open up his mouth where he shouldn't be doing that. And right now, he's not the voice of that team and the voice of that offense. It could come, it might come, but it's not here yet. He doesn't deserve to be captain yet.
You know, Mario Williams was the center of attention when he first got here, and as ever, all this, well, we hardly talk about him at all. Did he have a good camp? I mean, is he playing well?
I think he's in great shape this year, and he seems a little more serious than I've seen him in the past, which I think is a good thing. And you don't forget, but sometimes you take for granted he's going to get his double-digit sacks and he's going to play his game. He can be a dominant player, but I like that his teammates recognize that in him. It surprised me a bit.
For those regular viewers of the Rochester Press Box, you recognize this as being a different look for us. Oh, we'd like to take a minute to thank the people up at Salvatore's at the historic garage door where we spent our last full year doing this program. A year ago at this time, Soccer Sam and his buddies up there came to the rescue of this program, provided us a home, and really embraced the program. And we had a wonderful relationship with the people up there. Ray and all the waitresses and everything. Stephanie was there, and Tony was there, and we just had a great time. Soccer Sam is a great businessman. He keeps things moving. There's no regrets in terms of not being there anymore, because they really did treat us well, and we enjoyed our year there. So to those people that we kind of leave behind as we move the show around a little bit, keep up the good work, and thanks again. If you're watching the Rochester Press Box on a Sunday, stay tuned for NFL Fox. We precede the games now. We love our new time slot here at 11:30. John, great job.
Really
Thank you very much.
Today. Good stuff.
Mike?
Thanks.
And the house.
Always a pleasure.
Welcome
Anytime.
back in.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. We'll see you again next week.